We are here. We are here. See what's going on in here. First and foremost, I hope everybody is well. Everybody is good. You're out here being safe. There's a lot of craziness going on out here in the world, but if you are here, then you are safe, you are well, and you are blessed to see another day. We just started off like that. Man, where do I start? First of all, shout out to my sponsor, Do Say Cognac. Shout out to my brothers over there, my man Drent Star and all of that. But let's get to this, man. So, a few days ago, Hoffa decided to go live on his, because he's streaming now. Seems like he's not doing interviews anymore. I guess for right now. And let me just say this before I begin. This is not hate. This is just a breakdown of what I think led up to his current situation with not having a barbershop anymore. So I don't hate that man. There's no hate, no malice, nothing like that. This is just my honest opinion. Okay? So first and foremost, I want to thank y'all for being here, liking, subscribing, sharing, and all of that. Continue to support Champion Style TV, Spin the Yard podcast. I got some amazing things coming up. Some amazing shit. Y'all gonna see. So first and foremost, I seen a few days ago, Math, he's live streaming now from his house, and it's him and his girl, Jen, and he talks about how he lost the barbershop, the staple of his show, right? Now, y'all know I was there for a while. I was there for almost 2 years. And according to, the things he said on his live and stuff like that, I don't agree with everything. One of the reasons why I'm even doing this live is because he mentioned his co-host, as if we did something bad and we did something wrong that led up to what's happening now, right? So back when I first got over there on my expert opinion, there was discrepancies going on with the lady he was subleasing the barbershop from, right? The lady, I ain't gonna lie, she was a hard ass. She used to put him through the trenches. I ain't gonna hold you. And used to have Matt depressed and mad at every juncture. He thinking, yo, I'm gonna lose the barbershop. Yo, we gotta find another space. And there was times when I went out and about, me personally, to different barbershops and had conversations with them about MEO going over to their location. But it never worked out because Math is very picky. Anyway, during those times, I used to tell him, like, yo, bro, this shit ain't gonna really last forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, what else do you have going on besides this, right? What other hustles you got? You know what I'm saying? Because if you're not gonna take direct ownership of this fucking location and you're gonna continue subleasing, then one day this shit gonna bite you in the ass and you're gonna regret not having that conversation with that woman and the guy who's over her that owned the fucking building. Obviously, y'all know Math is very stubborn. Once he's set in his ways and his mindset, that's what he does. So we continue to film and stuff like that, but it seemed like every other episode or every 2 episodes we would do, there was an issue with this woman. I remember one time, I forgot who the guest was, but we pull up to the shop and the doors, the locks had changed. The locks was changed on the shop, right? And I was like, yo, what the fuck is going on? Why is the locks changed, this, that, and the third? He calls this woman, and one thing he tried to do was, like, not be overly aggressive because we need the location. And the aggression came out. He wound up taking her up top. She was very upset. So I went to the hardware store, broke the locks, got the lock cutter, broke the locks. We bought some new locks for the shop or whatever. Went in there and did what we did. And he had certain conversations with her afterward and shit like that. And we kept filming the show. But while I was there, I used to always tell him, like, yo, bro, it needs to be other shit going on in here. It can't just be, we got a guest come in, this is what we doing, that's it, we out. And then, like he said on his stream, There was times that we would shoot for a whole week straight, right? Sometimes twice a day. And then we'd be off for like a month, right? So my thing with him is that, okay, for a month straight, you're collecting YouTube checks. For a month straight, your co-hosts have to, you know, get a job or find other hustles. Me personally, I always had multiple hustles. At the time, I had the magazine, I had personal training, I had business consulting that I was doing, and I was doing advertising and marketing for certain people. I always had something else happening outside of the shop. And same thing with Gat. You know, Gat had his show and whatever else he was doing. I don't know, but I was outside, and I would tell him this shit, and it's like he wouldn't listen. It was just like, nah, this show gonna be next. This is it. I'm all in. Da 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 da. I'm like, yeah, I'm all in too. But at the end of the day, if I'm not here on a regular basis, I'm not getting paid. So that was one discrepancy. But anyway, time went along, and it seemed like it started getting worse. Right? I'm looking ahead. I'm thinking about a year from now, from when I first got there, and shit just started getting worse. Like this woman, he was subleasing from, was constantly like being an asshole. You understand what I'm saying? And then a lot of times math ain't making no better because he's math. You understand what I'm saying? He's the way he is. He's aggressive at times. He sometimes he don't want to listen. Well, most of the time he don't want to listen, and he wants to do things his way, right? It's either his way or no way, right? Hold on a second. So anyway, time goes along, shit start getting worse, and then we got into our situation, right? Me and him get into our situation or whatever, and after I left the show, it seemed like shit just continued to get worse for him, right? And one thing that I don't like about math, and like I said, this ain't no hating or nothing like that. This is one of the reasons I left the show. One of the things I don't like about math is that he will shell it, but he won't take it. Pause. He'll shell it out, but he won't take it. He's the end all be all, the I know everything. This is what it's gonna be, this, that, and the third. One of the ideas that I had told to him while I was on the show was like, yo, bro, we need to start doing mic drop performances here, right? Mic drop performances for what? Da da da. I'm like, yo, bro, we get the guest that's promoting something on the show, Benny the Butcher, Comedy Machine, Westside Gun, whoever, right? They come on the show. We do the hanging mic drop performance as a separate form of content under MEO, under another channel. I mean, not another channel, but as another playlist. And then we get to the interview. Now you have a separate form of content that everybody's looking forward to. Nah, bro, that shit ain't gonna work. Nah, that shit ain't gonna work. I'm like, come on, man, how the fuck that shit ain't gonna work, bro? You got On the Radar, you got this platform, that platform, and even with his music, I used to tell him like, yo, I know Gabe, I know these niggas from On the Radar, I know these niggas from Blockwork TV, da da da. You want to promote the music? Let's get you on a platform first. Nah, we gonna create our own platform, but you don't want to listen to what the fuck I'm telling you to do, bro. Do it in the fucking shop. And then you know what happens a few months after I leave? Not even a few months. I say like 8, 9 months after I leave. He started doing hanging mic performances. And I started my podcast, my platform in January. January 1st, New Year's, I started my podcast on January 1st. You know what's the first thing I did? Hanging mic performance and an interview with a Jersey City artist named Did That. Shout out to her. Right? And it did good. And then I continued. It's a continuum. That is my format. My format is if it's an artist, they come on a platform. If I fuck with them, if I like them, I'm a fan of their music, they come on the platform, they do what they do on the mic, pause, and then we do an interview so the viewers can get to know who they are, whether they're up and coming or whether they're established. Now, I have other people that have been on the platform, which is a separate form of content, that are not artists or rappers. They could be business owners, they could be clothing designers, fashion, whatever they are. And they come on the platform and we do a behind the genius segment. So that's what I did with Freaky Zeke. I had JD Williams up there. JD Williams is an actor, right? Different types of people. Make sure you mix it up so that way the people watching, the viewers, don't get bored with your content. I got a new interview out right now with Weather Park and Sha. Met the man's daughter, old Dirty Bastard son. They're rappers. So they did a mic drop performance first. But I'm saying all this to say, I told him these things, while I was on the platform, because I'm the one, like I said before, I'm always outside. I see what's happening. I see how the culture is shifting. Bro, we need to add these elements to the show. Another thing that I told him was, yo, everybody in here has their own character. I have my own character as far as me, doing time in prison, coming home, figuring things out, being thrown into the entertainment field and stuff like that. Mecca has his knowledge of hip hop. He's a hip hop historian. He worked with The Source, legendary magazine. He has a great philosophical perspective on the culture itself. Gat has his own thing with the Brooklyn way. He has his what's the word I'm looking for? His what's the word I'm looking for? His unconventional way of expressing himself, right? On some hood shit. He got his own wave, right? And then when we had Bigger there, Bigger was just a religious, serious guy, and he had his own fan base. So all of us collectively, if we all had our own playlists, right? Let's say I shot over in Jersey. I shot my content in Jersey. Gat does his in Brooklyn. Mecca does his in Lower Manhattan. Bigger does his in upstate New York, where he live at. But it's all under the My Expert Opinion umbrella. And then we have Math Hoffa, who's the head of the fucking My Expert Opinion umbrella. Then if something like this happen, you have something to fall back on. If you lose the shop, if you lose your main location that you shoot your content out of, and you have your team who is with you every time you shoot to fall back on, to be their crutches. Now what happens is, all right, while we trying to figure out how to get another shop and all of that shit, Champ, I'm gonna come on your platform, and then Big, I'm gonna come on your platform, and then I'm gonna come on Mecca platform, and we all gonna bounce it back like that. We do the hang and drop the mic drop performances, this, that, and the third, and then it all works. But the problem is this. The problem is that Math has to be the one who fucking runs everything. And I'm not mad at that. It's his platform. He built it from being a battle rapper to podcasting. I'm super grateful for the opportunity, because that's how I have my fan base now. But at the end of the day, shit start to deconstruct because you don't want to listen. And now you're doing live streaming from your crib with none of your co-hosts, your current co-hosts, because your other co-hosts are trying to figure out their lane when they were on a platform where they had a lane. And now they trying to figure it out, right? Heineken and Esso already had it figured out, right? They had Bag Fuel while they were on My Expert Opinion. So if anything ever went wrong, they got their shit to fall back on, right? Bigger didn't have a podcast. Bigger wanted to learn how to podcast. He begged Math to teach him, but he had to figure it out on his own after he left the show because of business shit. Gat, he already had the Brooklyn Way TV series that he created. So he has something to fall back on. Mecca is fucking Busta Rhymes' head of A&R for Conglomerate. He got something to fall back on. But the problem is, if we would have just put all of our resources together and combined our power, then Math would not be in a situation where he's sitting in the crib by himself with his girl in the background talking and blogging and live streaming. Now the numbers ain't the same, because nobody is a fan of you as an individual. No one is a fan of you as an individual. Why? Because you play musical chairs with the guests. With the host. You play musical chairs with all of us. If we just all sat down, there's plenty of times, let me tell y'all something, there's plenty of times we sat down in the shop and had in-depth conversations off camera. Me, Math, Mecca, Gat, Chastity, Bigger, security guard nigga, the bitch ass fucking videographer nigga Aaron Ross. Shout out to K.O. Kane, that's my guy. But the bitch ass nigga Aaron Ross, I'm gonna tell y'all something about him in a second. And we all came up with a plan. But the plan never comes to fruition because whatever Math has going on personally, it affects the work. It affects the work. It affects how we all move, because we're going off of his energy. We all came there to work. You understand what I'm saying? So I feel like this situation happening with with him losing the barbershop, it's his fault. It's his fault because he had way too many chances to pivot. Way too many chances to pivot. Let me put myself in his shoes, right? I was on his platform, right? his platform is, I'm leasing his space, right? I'm leasing his space, but I'm not physically paying him. I'm just there giving sweat equity, right? By being there and I'm getting paid for it, whatever. Business didn't work out. We had a plethora of conversations about business and stuff like that. Shit didn't work out. Cool. I leave. And you know what I did? I left and I built my own shit. And I built my own shit with a core group of people that we all have an understanding with each other. We all have a core understanding. If somebody sees something wrong, if something seems to be a little off, it's whatever, we sit down and talk about it. It ain't no, yo, big eyes, little U's. It ain't none of that. If you got something to get off your chest, talk about it. Let's fix it. Let's move on, because this machine has to keep running. Everybody gets paid on time. The videographer, the fucking, the space that I use, right? And I'm not leasing, right? I have great relationships with people. Pause. I have good friends that believe in my vision. Once I sit down and break it down to them, and then I'm open to their critique. That's another thing. Somebody can sit down and tell me like, yo, I don't like the way this look. This could be a little better. That's why my shit looks so high quality. But enough about me. So I feel like he did it to himself because, one, of his arrogance. Two, because he doesn't listen. Three, because he's just fucking hard-headed. And he brings his personal shit into the business side of what he does. Another thing is that I feel like it's karma. I feel like what's happening with him right now is karma. Now, at the end of the day, I wish him success. Like, I hope he finds another barbershop. You understand what I'm saying? I hope he finds another barbershop. I hope he sets it up again. He finds some great co-hosts, whatever the case may be, and he keep his machine running. And he learns from this, right? But at the end of the day, like, I could take, okay, there we go, we back. I could take but so much. And y'all out there, as far as fans and viewers and supporters, y'all get used to certain, fuck, man, keep calling me. Y'all get used to certain things. And those things you get used to is our personalities. We all have our individual personalities in that shop. And what really, well, I'm gonna keep it all the way a stack with you. What really took me over the top with this dude is the shit with Bimie, right? That's what took me over the top with this dude. If you look at his numbers, my numbers ain't astronomical, not yet, but they on the way. As long as I stay consistent. If you look at his numbers, the last thing that he did that got 500,000 views was about me. Think about that. Go back into his timeline of back into the timeline of Math Hoffa's interviews. The last thing that went viral that was crazy was about me. Now, I know I got my faults. I know I did certain shit, right? I sent content from, personal content that his girl shared with me to Tasha K and stuff like that, being upset, being moody, being, ignorant at times and stuff like that. But he decided to have a rat, a big fat rat, and his rat friends, the Ninja Turtles, with Master Splinter, who's Bimie, on his platform, making it seem like I did something I didn't do. We could never bounce back from that. We could never bounce back from that. And this is why I'm saying I believe it's karma. I believe it's karma because at the end of the day, Math Hoffa is petty. He is petty king. He can sit here and act like, oh, I'm higher than thou, I'm a Mason now, I got my head on straight, da-da-da-da. Nah, bro, it's certain shit that one cannot come back from. I can't come back from that. There's no forgiveness there. There's none of that. There's none of that. Because that shit fucked up a lot of relationships for me. But the good thing is that I have a lot of people that I know, more people than, say 90% of people out of 100 that I know, that look at me and my character and fuck with me based off of our personal relationship. You understand what I'm saying? Our personal relationship. If I was in a situation like Math and I lost my space, I would get another space the next day, like that. I left Math Hoffa show. I went through whatever turmoil I went through with him putting Bimie up there and putting out false allegations about me. I bounced right back. You know why? Because I have great relationships. It ain't all about a dollar with the people I deal with. People I deal with is like, yo, champ, you did all that time. You came out here, you doing the right thing. We want to see you win. And that's the thing. That's the difference between me and that man. But I believe it's karma. Even down to the whole thing he said with the chicken shit. You understand what I'm saying? With somebody, you know, breaking chicken necks and putting it in front of his shop and all that. That was probably a broad you was fucking. That probably was a woman he was fucking that was jealous or whatever. It's just the timing of things. He think I did it. Whatever. I don't care if you think I did it. It doesn't matter to me. He thinks I did that. And that's fine for him to think that because I was the main one that had my foot on his neck at the time. At that time, I was relentless. I was just going crazy on Instagram, on YouTube and stuff like that because you're not going to sit here and lie on me. You're not going to lie on me. But you got to think about this. There's a lot of personal shit I know about Math that I'm not going to share. That's his business. That's his demons. That's the shit he got to deal with, right? It's not good shit, though. That's why I think he became a Mason, trying to clear up his sins and all of that. But now you lost your home, essentially. Because you lost your home, which is your main moneymaker, and you have to pivot to streaming and your music. That's a whole nother conversation about the music. But you have to pivot to your music and live streaming. Your numbers have shifted immensely. Your numbers shifted immensely because nobody was really watching the show because of you. People watched the show based on the guests and the energy of the co-host interviewing the guests. Not because of you, my brother. Another thing, when I first came on the show, I'm very observant. I watch everything. After a few weeks or whatever, Eric Robinson, peace, salute, Rel, 379, salute, Sherry Bard, AP, salute, Salacero, Jersey TV, salute. What happened is Math Hoffa lost his barbershop. My expert opinion show, which is a show I used to be on, is not happening right now. I don't know what he got going on in the background, if he's trying to look for another shop, but right now, the nigga lost his barbershop, which is his money maker. So when I first came on the show, after a few weeks, I noticed how the title of the show was Math Hoffa's My Expert Opinion. And when I first got in the shop, I see these co-hosts, I see this family unit kind of energy and shit like that. And I'm like, okay, you know, you had Heineken and Esso, you had Bigger, you had Math. And then you had the guests that would come. And I was like, this is pretty cool, but why is it called Math Hoffa's My Expert Opinion? Why is it not just called My Expert Opinion? Something to keep in the back of my mind, something to think about. Okay. And then I started noticing that over time, he would always be beefing with the co-host. So the first fucking shit that I witnessed was the shit with him, Heineken, and Esso. And I'm just like, there's no way I can side with anyone. I hardly knew Math. I hardly knew Heineken and Esso, even though I met Heineken first in Space Ghost. I met both of them brothers way before I met Math. But we didn't have that type of relationship. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, why isn't it just called My Expert Opinion? And then I see the beefing going on. And because I was presented this opportunity, I just got Math in my ear all the time, telling me what's happening. But I'm a critical thinker. So, you know, I would listen and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I'm like, I wonder what's happening from these guys and like, what's their story? And then I started seeing other shit happening, whether it was business-wise, whether it was with like trying to keep things from people and like just weird shit, man. With even if it's with his girl, with his family, or with niggas in the street, whatever the case may be. And in my mind now, I'm saying, all right, my clock is ticking. My clock is ticking at this point. There's only going to be a certain amount of time that I'm going to be. Leo, get down. Get down. Get down. Talking to my cat. He all over the table and shit. My clock is ticking. There's only a certain amount of time I'm going to be here, so I need to start planning an exit strategy. But because Math was losing a lot of people around him, not in death, but he was losing a lot of people around him based off of his character and his ego and his pride. I was the guy who was dependent upon to him all the time. I was his ears, I was his eyes. It was like, yo, champ, yo, this just happened, yo, pull up, yo, I need to go out, I need to do this, da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? I thought Math broke in. What does that mean, Brian Roseboro? I don't understand that. But I started to make myself too available to him, pause, in the aspect of like, yo, he need to go somewhere, he need to do something, he's stressed out, this, that, and the third. All of those things from when I was on the show up until this point right now play a big fucking role in what just happened. It's not just about the woman who fucking he was subleasing from and her attitude and stuff like that. It's not about the Jewish guy or whoever it was that was over her, that was fucking draining energy and fucking electricity from the barbershop and supplying it to the whole building and maybe the whole block. It's not about that. It's about the fact that you don't fucking listen. It's the fact that you don't fucking listen and you think you got it all figured out. One of the things that I challenge Mav to is to sit down and have a conversation with me virtually. Because in person, I don't know how, it might get sticky. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, it might get sticky. So I challenge Mav to, let's set it up. We go on YouTube Live or Instagram Live, whatever the case may be, and have a conversation. Like just put everything out on the table, bro. And have a conversation. Right? So you a solid dude, but remember all the things he done bad is gonna come to him, and now he's saying that it's something else about the rant. Yes, hard time struggle, salute to you. I totally agree. One of the things is that Math is always blaming others. Always blaming others for shit. Always blaming others for shit. Like, this is just another situation. I seen a comment earlier, somebody said Math is always blaming other people and not looking at himself. You can do therapy, you can do all of this shit in the world that you want, but at the end of the day, you got to look into yourself. Shout out to Duce. Blah. That's my thing. So I want to go back a little bit. Resources he has, this shouldn't even be a thing. That's the problem. That's the problem. Let me tell you something. When you start to come into some type of power, the way he did, and you shift from being broke, not really having anything, coming up from the projects, you came up. And I respect his hustle. He came up. But when you get to that point, you have to understand business, you have to understand strategy, you have to understand pivoting, marketing, advertising, all these things. Do y'all know how many advertising opportunities I brought to this man? And he turned them down. The man told me one time, this was the straw that broke the camel's back. This is why I had left the show, if y'all don't know. I left the show because, that's why he came from something. I left the show because the day we did the I'll Be Out interview, January of 2024, at the end of the interview, he told me he wasn't paying me because I didn't bring any advertisement. Meanwhile, earlier that day, I told him he needed to speak to this guy from Monster Energy, this guy named Vinny that he didn't like, right? They had whatever riff they had. I told him, yo, get on the phone with him, have a conversation. Let's try to work something out. Like, we need advertising dollars. And he told me he wasn't paying me that for that episode because I didn't bring any advertising. And that's when I subsequently said, all right, that's it. I'm done. And then I say a week later, he drops an interview with the guy from Uppercut Podcast, the Asian guy. talking crazy about me. Meanwhile, I didn't say shit to him. That all that shit in the background, those are my cats. I got 3 cats in here. So he went on this guy's podcast and started talking crazy about me. I'm a liar, I'm a thief, I'm not to be trusted, this, that, and the third. Meanwhile, I was on your show for almost 2 years and you never said anything bad about me. I never was fired, nothing like that. But the problem is, again, he doesn't listen and he wishes that things, he thinks that in his mind it's gonna go this way, it's tunnel vision, because that's what worked before. It is, right? My fault. Let me turn it off. Give me 1 second. That's my bad. All right. My bad. My bad. I got like 3 of them shits in here. You never know, man. But anyway, so where was I at? Can somebody remind me? Can somebody remind me? Nah, listen. I listen. That's the whole thing. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. I listen. If y'all saying that something is, if y'all saying something is wrong or y'all not feeling it, I'm gonna go take care of it. That's it. But anyway, there's a few points. So let's shift to the music, right? Where's my, see, I'm using this phone. I would have to send it to my other phone. But I have so much footage in my phone, this phone right here, from studio sessions with Math. One in particular that was very memorable was a studio session he had at S5 Studios. This was in 2023. And it was a bunch of us in the studio. It was me, it was Graf, Shiggy was there, Simba from LA, he pulled up. A bunch of people was in the studio. So now niggas want to have a song battle, right? Math was like, yo, I got this amount of money. No, excuse me, Simba. I got the footage. I might post it tomorrow. Simba was like, yo, I got $1,000. Any of you niggas put up $1,000, I'm gonna tear his shit up. Pause. I got hits, da 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 da. So ain't nobody say nothing. I'm definitely not saying nothing because I'm like, I know Simba got some shit. And I've been working with Math. I did beats for Math. I sat in the studio with him for hours. And compared to Simba and what I had heard so far, I'm like, nah, he's not ready. So anyway, the playoff starts, begins. Math goes first. You know, like I said, there's a bunch of us in the studio. The vibe is, Math plays some shit. All right, yo, that's what's up, that's what's up. Simba plays some shit? Simba plays some shit? It's over. Simba plays some shit. Hold on 1 second. Simba plays some shit, we going crazy. Oh, shit. What the fuck, bro? Nigga, Simba plays some shit with Chris Brown. He played some shit with him and Hitmaker, him and Ty Dolla. Like hit after hit, like you want to go gangster, you want to go political, you want to go conscious, you want to go for the ladies, you want to go to the club, you want to go creative. It don't matter, nigga. I got it. And subsequently, Simba did his numbers, right? And there's a lot of times that Math in the studio was looking for people to side with him and his music, and it's like a lot of times we would say, you know, tell him like, yo, the music is kind of dated. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of dated. You know, you in this lane and stuff like that, and you want to stick to it. You want to continue to make 5-minute records. There's nobody listening to 5-minute records right now. The attention span is short. The maximum time on the song is about 2 minutes and 10 seconds. The shortest amount is about 30, 45 seconds at max. So nobody's gonna sit here and listen to a whole 5-minute song. You understand what I'm saying? So that's, you know, that's that. But from what Lola Shakur, I'm gonna answer that right now. So At the inception of me coming to Math Show, I was doing a magazine thing. I had at the time. I since left the magazine. I don't work with it anymore. It still is the biggest magazine in the prison system, YKTV magazine. And I was also getting a lot of artists' music on JPay as well. That was one of my other hustles. It still is one of my hustles. So shit, I even got on Math a link for JPay. He just never used it because he don't fucking listen. Anyway, so right before I got on Math Show, I was doing interviews already. I have it up on my Instagram and on my YouTube page. I interviewed Jim Jones, Justin Valentina, Rowdy Rebel, Bobby Shmurda, Doughboy, Casanova 2 times. I interviewed all these people prior to me getting on Math platform, in prison and out of prison. We just get that clear. So anyway, I had a space that I was managing in Harlem, in the west side of Harlem, prior to me getting a Math Show, and I would do all my interviews there. I brought Jay Prince there, I had Chris Gotti there, Bobby Shmurda, all these people pulling up to this spot. It was lit. And I would do interviews with them. The person that was recording my interviews is a guy named Aaron Ross, right? A real bitch ass nigga. Let me tell you why. Aaron Ross was a broke, struggling videographer. I'm gonna say that again. Aaron Ross. On Instagram, his name is Aaron Ross Official. Light-skinned nigga, big afro, El DeBarge looking motherfucker. He was filming my content, right? When I first got to the spot that I was working at and I started managing the building, it was a content curation space. I was managing the whole shit. Podcast room, studio, videography, photography room, green room, the whole shit. I was doing my thing. So he had helped build it, right? He helped put all of the pieces together under some other cat that I'm not gonna name. But the other cat wasn't paying him shit. He wasn't giving him nothing. So I said, yo, look, bro, I see you nice with this, you nice with that. Fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna pay you, shoot my interviews or whatever. And I'm gonna get them transcribed for the magazine. I need you to take the pictures and all of that. Brought him around some dope ass people. Nobody knew who the fuck he was. Had him around Tory Lanez, all kind of people, man, up in the fucking record labels, all type of shit. So he was fucking with me for like a year. Heavy, we outside. Yo, Aaron, where you at? I'm sending an Uber to get you. We over here, we over there, da-da-da. I need to get this content. So then he starts seeing I'm serious. He's like, damn, boy, really fucking is about that life. Like, he's outside. Like, he Debo his way into to listening parties and all type of shit, whatever. So now I get the opportunity to go to Math Show. So y'all know what was going on when I first went on Math Show. Space Ghost just left. Space Ghost left, supposedly took Math's content and all of that, whatever, cool. Space Ghost leaves. Math don't got no videographer. What do, being a guy that I am? Yo, Math, I got a videographer. Oh, word? You got a videographer? Yeah, he pretty dope too. All right, cool, yeah, I need that nigga, bro. Yeah, have him pull up, you know what I'm saying? And he can start shooting the content. He starts shooting the content, shit shifts. You know, it was a learning curve for him because he never did that type of content like that. It was just one-on-one interviews he was used to doing. But Math would listen to him as far as the equipment and all of that shit that he needed and how to make everything more aesthetically pleasing to the eyes and all of that. So Math started buying more equipment, things like that. So now Aaron is on the payroll. He's on the payroll. He's still on the payroll right now, right? He's the one that I know for a fact set up Math's whole streaming shit, you heard? That whole streaming thing he got going on at his crib, Aaron did that. I know that for a fact. Anyway, so he comes on to my expert opinion. Another brother named K.O. Kane came on as well, but that didn't have nothing to do with me. K.O. Kane and Math already had a relationship, but Math needed another videographer because sometimes the nigga Aaron would be fucking up. So essentially, I bought Aaron to Math's platform because he needed a videographer, and he's still with him to this day. Another person that I bought, and I'm not going to name them, to Math's platform was his head security guy. There's a guy that's there that always sits by the door and all that y'all see in the background. I bought him there. It's a guy that I was locked up with in Fishkill Correctional Facility. All right? I bought him there. He's still with Math to this day. Right? Now, when I left Mav's show, the kid Aaron texted me and was like, yo, you know, I'm gonna still be here. I don't want to be no hard feelings, this, that, and the third. I'm you know, I'm just trying to get my money, blah, 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 blah. I ignored it. I ignored it because at that time I was still processing everything and figuring my situation out, right? I ignored it. So now me and Mav start beefing heavy online. This nigga jumps out the motherfucking roof and starts talking crazy to me. Start talking crazy about me like, nigga, I presented you an opportunity. The same way Mav presented me the opportunity to get on his platform, I presented you an opportunity to change your situation because you was crying broke every fucking 5 minutes. Champ, can you sell me this? Champ, can you sell me that? And I would do it because I appreciated your work. So while I was on the show, no, excuse me, after I left the show, before me and Mav really started beefing, he was still film for me on the low. Pause. He would film, you know, certain shit for me on the low. Whatever. Why, after that whole Bimie situation, this nigga took all of my content. All the content that we had in the shared Google Drive, this motherfucking bitch ass nigga took it. He took my Justina Valentine interview. He took my Kiss interview. He took my, who else I had? Millie's. Jada Kiss artist, Millie's. I had his interview too. He took all of that shit, right? So that's who I was talking about. Like he's still a part of Mav's situation, but he's a piece of shit. But niggas throw shit on me to make me seem like I'm a piece of shit. When I helped to restructure Mav's whole situation, the only thing I didn't do in Mav's shop was bring other co-hosts. I didn't do that. You understand what I'm saying? I didn't bring other co-hosts on the show. But as far as setting up the barbershop, as far as bringing guests, as far as cleaning the barbershop, as far as getting the liquor, as far as getting a videographer, as far as getting security, as far as making sure Mav had a ride, I did all of that shit. That's a fact. And then I had a conversation with a friend one day. And they like, yo, when you just gonna start your own shit? And I'm like, I don't know. Pig Butt. Let me just say this. There's a person over here named Pig Butt. I don't know how to remove you with that comment, but your name is Pig Butt and you saying this shit about me. How can I respect you as an individual and anything you have to say, and that's your fucking name? Anyway, these are all the things that I brought to the table. So y'all can understand. I'm just giving y'all a canvas, a picture of like why I reacted the way I reacted, because niggas switched sides on me. But now I'm okay. I'm good now. I'm straight. I'm making money. I always make money, but I got my own pod. The pod is doing well. I got some super big things coming up, and everything. Life is great. I can't complain. And the thing about me is, I'm not one of them niggas that get money and start getting flashy. I'm not a flashy nigga. That never been my style. I could do Nike Techs. I could do regular shit all the time. I'm gonna always wear these hats, these farm hats, because they paying me for this, but that's me. I know where money needs to go. That's another problem Mav has. He likes to spend absorbently. Now, granted, Mav always took care of niggas when it was time to move around. You understand what I'm saying? When we went to the BET Awards, when we went here, the Drink Champs, when we went there, he made sure we was straight and niggas got a stipend. That I give him, right? But he never really sat down and said, yo, I need to make sure I got this over here just in case. Just in case some shit take place, some shit happen, I got $50,000 over there in the cut because his YouTube money will start slowing down. That was one of the reasons we was beefing too. And he was on me about advertisements. Yo, we need more advertisements because his views, he felt like the views wasn't paying, the views on YouTube wasn't paying him enough to help pay our salary. So now it's like, y'all got to do more. Y'all got to do more. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not responding to that, my brother. That is not true at all. If anybody with half a brain looks at the video and all of that shit, you know that that shit ain't true. And at the same time, my brother, I have a crazy long rap sheet and record. I would have been in jail. Anyway, um, so that was one of the things as well. You know what I'm saying? You guys out there, y'all see us as guests and stuff like that, and y'all say, um, I like this person, I like that person. Everybody connects to someone that is a co-host in the show for whatever reason, right? I have a lot of people that connected to me because of my past experience of being in prison. And now I'm home and I'm doing what I do and stuff like that. But everybody, like you can't, like with Mav, you can't just keep switching niggas up. Like the next set of co-hosts he had on there wasn't moving no needle. It wasn't moving no needle. Shout out to them. Like shout out to my brother A all the way and all that. That's my brother. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about everybody else. Let me ask y'all a question. Math platform was moving at an exponential rate. 1.4 million subscribers. How come he couldn't be able to find a barbershop the next day? You had one of the biggest media personalities sitting in your barbershop chair as a co-host. Kim Osario, who's another one who's a backbiter. She's I ain't even gonna go into her, bro. She got a lot of shit with her. But yeah, she's the one that set up that whole Heineken and Esso and Math popping up on Heineken and Esso at Angela Yee shit. That's her. But she's a known person in the game. She can't help you find a location. Here's my thing. If I was Math and I lost my barbershop, I'm gonna shoot wherever. Doesn't fucking matter. I'm gonna shoot wherever. Yo, we gonna go in the lobby of my building. We did that before. There was one time, I don't know if y'all know this, but there's a situation that took place outside the barbershop where a nigga pulled up that had old beef with Math. You understand? Had old beef with Math. Math was like, yo, we not shooting our next episode here. It was the episode we shot with Tay Rock and Chess, the battle rappers. If y'all watch, I have the same clothes on from that day. I had a red sweatsuit on. We shot Bun B first, and then we did Tay Rock and Chess. If y'all notice, Tay Rock and Chess interview is at Mav's crib in his lobby. You understand what I'm saying? It's in the lobby of his fucking building. It was during Christmas time, 2023. You know why? Because the guy that pulled up to the shop came for the smoke. He came to settle a score with Math. I respect the way Math handled it. He's like, yo, I'm a businessman. I'm not with that shit no more. So I'm going to go move accordingly and we're going to go shoot somewhere else. But niggas was scared. Not me. I wasn't there. I was there at the beginning when the dude pulled up and Bum B was still there. We took a 5-minute break. We went outside. We pressed the issue. Boy left. He ran across the street. I'm not going to get into details about all of that. But niggas handled it. Nigga ran across the street. I left the barbershop because we had like a 2 to 3 hour break before we had to interview Tay Rock and Chess. I went up to the west side of Harlem to go see one of my mans. And I got a call and niggas is hiding in the back of the barbershop because son came back with the Goombas. Yo, Champ, where you at? What's up? What's going on? Yo, son came back, bro. I'm like, what the fuck you want me to do? The fuck you want me to do? You understand what I'm saying? So it was shit like that. And so the interview was somewhere else. My thing is, you just lost the shop, my nigga. Why you just don't go film somewhere else? Let's go film somewhere else. Now, let's get to the comments. Let's see something. Math was thirsty for that. Last thing I remember, respectfully, but Bryant Roseboro, shout out to you. It's not his strong point. That's okay. That's why you got to delegate. Facts. Strong teams go to furthest, not strong egos. Lola Shakur, he probably letting his pride get in the way because there's no way he can't get a studio up like a barbershop and get it going. I agree. This other person, I'm not going to say their name. Funny how you can't respect my name, but look at his hat. LOL, this guy. You're right, bro. I didn't even think about that. I don't know if you're a bro or a hoe, but you're right. I just like the colors of it because I got the, you know, the army green, so I like to match. Raul Ramos, why you take that money from Bimie? What are you talking about? Ain't nobody take no money from Bimie. And why the fuck you asking me about a rat nigga? Yeah. All right. So that's it with the comments. But anyway, listen, like, share, subscribe, all of that good shit. I appreciate y'all tuning in. I got 70 people in the building. That's more than I expected. At the end of the day, I'm grateful. I'm appreciative. Look for more content to come from Champion Style TV. Spin the Yard. I got some dope ass interviews coming up. Some dope mic drop performances from some of y'all favorite artists. Cause niggas fuck with me. You understand what I'm saying? James Jordan, salute. I appreciate that. I went on Bag Fuel already, Mickey Knox. If you look at an interview from last year, go on their channel and put in Bag Fuel and Champ. But I have an interview coming out with them. I interviewed them. That's coming out next week, so stay tuned for that as well. You heard? With Heineken and Esso. That shit was fire. And what's crazy is I didn't even do it in the regular location I do it at. I did it somewhere in the city. But anyway, appreciate y'all. Thank you again. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. Champion Style TV. Look out for more content.